Hi, everyone, and welcome to the session today. My name is Daniel, and I'm proud to welcome you to the webinar. So without further ado, the webinar titled Unlocking Manufacturing Excellence, Maximizing Efficiency with Pinnacle eLearning. And it's meant to be a very exciting webinar, so I really hope you're looking forward to all of the incredible knowledge that's going to be shared in today's session. So just to kick off, from an agenda perspective, there's an introduction and welcome. We'll look at why Pinnacle Series, and then we'd look at maximizing efficiency with Pinnacle eLearning. And that's something that we hear often in today's time of time and efficiency, and how can I be more productive? And the team online is going to share with you some of the really cool insights on how to get that. Followed by that, there's a live demo. So we're fortunate enough to have Dolly join us today, who will be conducting the live demo. And then we've got a question and answer session. Now, important thing to note from a question and answer perspective, there is a chat that you can post questions that would be monitored, and we'd address them as we progress. So today's speakers, myself, Daniel Balaram. So I head up the manufacturing team here at Baker Baines. Quite a bit of experience within the manufacturing sector as well as the Autodesk industry. And I'm not here to talk about me so much, but my colleagues who I'm going to present to you shortly. Abigail Adams, who is our industry specialist from a Pinnacle Series perspective. Abby is quite seasoned within the Autodesk environment. She has got just over 8 years of experience, and she's known for her dynamic, bubbly self and a customer-centric approach, and believes e-learning is very important and has a great role of empowering individuals within the African continent. So welcome, Abigail. So before we move on, I'm going to take you through a little bit of Baker Baines and who we are. So Baker Baines is considered a niche consulting company, which focuses on three main areas: consulting, education, hardware, and software. And from a consulting perspective, we look at things like business process assessments, BIM consulting, data management, CAD/CAM, as well as simulation. But when it comes to education, part of our unique approach, we understand that education is important and it's a need by all. So we cater for various types of education. So classroom training, accredited classroom training, which also includes some customized project-based training. But what's very important to us is having the fact that we've got the self-paced e-learning, which is what we're going to go through a bit later. And that makes up the blended learning approach that we believe so strongly in. From an Autodesk perspective and a hardware and consulting perspective, we are Autodesk Gold partners, Leica partners, as well as ClearEdge partners. Only because we feel that there's areas in the workflow that have gaps, and by using the tools on screen like Cool Orange, Leica, as well as ClearEdge, we are able to fill these gaps. And of course, we are an authorized training center supported by our e-learning platform, which is Pinnacle Series, which is what you're going to hear more about today. And we've got industry experts in various industries. So from a building, civil engineering, energy, process plant, as well as manufacturing perspective. So I'm going to hand over to Abigail to take you through some of the very interesting insights on Pinnacle Series.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Hi, guys. As Daniel mentioned, my name is Abigail Adams, and I'm the go-to Pinnacle person here at Baker Baines. So we're going to have a look at who, what, and where, and help you understand who Eagle Point is, who Pinnacle is, and where everything fits in. So, as we get started, who is Eagle Point? Eagle Point are the creators of the Pinnacle and Pinnacle Lite series. They are a top e-learning system for AEC and manufacturing companies. What is the Pinnacle series? They are a comprehensive e-learning tool designed specifically for AEC and manufacturing companies. Where can you find it? You will be able to find it on any web browser with internet access, and it's convenient for remote learning and professional development. Okay, I'm now going to take you through why you would choose the Pinnacle series. So the Pinnacle series focuses on three key solutions, which is the first one is continuous learning. Pinnacle series encourages ongoing education, helping employees stay updated with industry changes as well as technology, which leads to innovation and operational excellence. The third one is knowledge capture and sharing. The platform enables organization to centralize critical knowledge and best practices, making it easy for teams to access and share insights, leading to improved processes as well as standardization. And then thirdly, it helps with increased productivity by providing an easy access resource and best practices. Pinnacle series supports quick problem solving, it reduces downtime, it also enhances operational efficiency by optimizing manufacturing workflows. I'm going to take you through the benefits of the Pinnacle series. The Pinnacle series can help you attract top talent. Pinnacle offering robust training programs enhances your attractiveness to your potential employees, particularly the younger generations who value growth and growth opportunities. By We can also retain employees by providing development and upskilling opportunities, keeps employees motivated and invested in their careers, leading to higher job satisfaction as well as retention. There's also It can also increase profits and productivity. Well-trained employees and more competent employees are making fewer mistakes and producing higher quality work, ultimately driving operational efficiencies. And then it can also improve retention. So easily accessible e-learning modules ensures that crucial information is readily available when needed, facilitating better decision making as well as workflows. And then lastly, by tracking and progress, they can gain valuable insights into employee, or this is the workforce can gain valuable insights into employees' learning progress, as well as assess the impact of the training on performance and organizational goals, enabling informed decision making for future training and investments. Some of the added features that Pinnacle has is it's easy access to resources. Users can easily find all the learning materials in one place, um, which is easily accessible. It also enables team collaboration, real-time collaboration, promoting an interactive learning environment. It's consistent learning, it's efficient content management, so it simplifies the management and the updating of learning resources. Data insights, it provides valuable analytics on learner progress for informed decision making, and then also the flexibility and the accessibility. Learners can access materials from anywhere, whether it be at home or on a mobile device, and then also it's customized learning paths. It supports personalized learning experiences tailored to individual needs. It's cost saving in comparison to in-house training, or you have to travel or spend 3 days in a classroom. Compliance and security maintains compliance with standards and secures training data. And then lastly, scalability can easily expand to accommodate more users, and you can add your own content. I'm now going to take you through these two Pinnacle options. You get the Pinnacle Lite option as well as the Pinnacle series, the full series. So the Pinnacle Lite is built for smaller teams um, of of 1 to 29 users, and the Pinnacle series is built for larger organizations. Both of them have the best of both worlds. It's just with the Pinnacle series, there is reporting functionality. You also have a dedicated success rep and much more. Before I hand over to Dolly to do the live demonstration, I'm just going to do a quick Q&A. So I'm going to pop it in the chat box. So if you could answer, what type of training format do you find most effective for your manufacturing workforce? Is it number one, online self-paced courses? Number 2, live virtual workshops. Number 3, is it in-person training sessions? Number 4, hands-on practical workshops. Or number 5, blended learning, a mix of both in-person and online. If you can just drop your answer 1, 2, 3, or 5, 4, or 5 in the chat box, that would be appreciated. And then while we gather all of that, Dolly, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Abigail, for that introduction to the platform. Good afternoon, everyone. Like I was introduced, my name is Dolly Burke. I am a customer success manager with Eagle Point Software. I'm happy to be here today to show you the Pinnacle Series platform. I'm gonna really kind of use those three challenges that Abigail induced, of why we created Pinnacle Series. These are common challenges that we see many organizations face. So whether it's continuous learning, knowledge capturing and sharing, increasing productivity, I'm going to use these challenges to kind of work through the platform today and show you how we can help solve these problems. So to get started here, I am on the homepage. Just a few things off the top, like we've reiterated a few times now, this is a browser-based solution, so making it very easy for users to access the platform regardless of where they are working. Now, as far as the overall look and feel of the platform, right now we're logged into a tenant that was created for Baker Bain, so obviously we're seeing their logo, their colors, but just know when you purchase Pinnacle Series, you do have the option to customize the platform. So any of the images, the colors, the fonts that you see can be customized. So that way when your users log in, they recognize it as a trusted resource of information for your organization. Now, when a user logs in, what the user sees on their homepage will be customized for that user. So depending on what work groups they are a part of will drive what they see here. In the My Courses section, a user will see any of the on-demand courses that they are currently enrolled into. So from their homepage, they can jump back into the training where they left off. Now, if a user is logging in to access some content, maybe get some guidance, they can do a search up top. Otherwise, they could browse for information over here on the left in this area that we call asset libraries. Now, this is where all the content on the platform is organized. This is broken up into two separate sections. So I'm actually going to start with this Adobe and going on down. These are what we call the public, like preloaded libraries that are available with the Pinnacle Series subscription. So meaning that our team here at Eagle Point Software is maintaining the content within these libraries as part of the subscription. So you can see we have a long list of different libraries. We can expand some of these libraries. So Autodesk, as an example, is really our largest library. We have everything from AutoCAD, BIM products, Plant 3D, Civil 3D, Revit, Fusion 360, Inventor, and much, much more here. But we do have content outside of Autodesk as well. So you'll see things such as Adobe, Bluebeam. We have a global BIM standard library, maybe some McNeil products, or Microsoft is a very, very popular library here as well. I will mention, and we'll kind of cover this when we kind of jump back into slides, there is a base library as well as some add-ons, and we'll kind of talk about that when we get through the demonstration here today. But do note, when you purchase Pinnacle Series, you're going to get access to all of the out-of-the-box content, but you can hide anything that doesn't apply to your users. So in the case I always like to use Autodesk, no one's ever using all of the Autodesk products. You can hide what does not apply to your users, and that just kind of shortens the list that they are browsing through on what they are needing. All right, but if I'll just jump into AutoCAD here as an example. Let's say I'm working on an AutoCAD project. I have some questions. Maybe I'm looking to self-enroll into some learning. I can jump into the AutoCAD library and now see the relevant materials, right? So across the top, we have the version years that are included. So as the technology is updated, the content within Pinnacle Series will also be updated. Now from this landing page, I do want to introduce the 4 types of what we call assets that we provide on the platform. So first we have Learning Paths, and Learning Paths are exactly what you think of when you hear e-learning platforms. They are the on-demand courses that are going to guide the user through that structured curriculum to learn a new skill, to fill a knowledge gap. All right, and then we have workflows. Workflows are a visual guide of a process or a best practice. It's going to walk the user step by step through that process. And we'll jump into examples of each of these in just a moment. Then we have some documents. You can think of these as more of just quick how-to type steps, maybe some frequently asked questions, troubleshooting steps, FAQ sort of information. And then a large library of videos. So kind of in contrast to a learning path that could be 30 minutes to an hour long, all of our videos are about 5 minutes or less. So in that instance where we're trying to keep users productive, they're working on a project, they have a question, we don't want them to have to sit through an entire course to find what they need. Instead they can check out the library of short videos and continue on with their work. All right, so once again, these are the 4 types of assets that we provide here on the libraries on the left-hand side. Now, these are also the types of materials that you can incorporate into the platform as well. So with your Pinnacle Series subscription, you do have the ability to add as much custom content as you would like into the platform as well. You have unlimited cloud storage to add as many videos, documents, whether that's PDF, Word, PowerPoint, Excel files, any sort of training materials that your organization needs. On the homepage, in the top section of the asset library, we have what's known as the custom content library for your organization. Like I said, right now we're logged into a tenant for Baker Bain, so we're seeing their custom library. But you get the idea here of where you could kind of develop your own library structure. You can name whatever, the folders, whatever you need based on the types of materials that you organize into the platform. We have a lot of organizations that will use Pinnacle Series as a way to create a structured onboarding process for their organization. So kind of all of those day 1, week 1 materials that new users need to go through can be incorporated into the platform, organized into a learning path, and assigned out to every new user, as they begin with the organization. So really our goal with Pinnacle Series is to help you create this central hub of information that users are coming to, whether it's for out-of-the-box learning, custom materials, and now we'll talk about some additional opportunities here as well. So kind of thinking to that first challenge of continuous learning, there's a few different ways that users can get into the learning. Users can browse, kind of like I've already showed you, they can self-enroll. Otherwise, a manager and admin can also assign users into learning. Anytime that enrollment takes place, the user will see the enrollment on the My Courses section of their homepage until they complete all the materials. So it kind of stays on their list until they work through all the materials. If I jump into an example of a learning path here to show you how our learning is structured. So on the left-hand side, we have the curriculum or the training list. So the platform's going to guide the user through the list of materials. As one video ends, it'll jump to the next item in the list. Courses can be made up of videos, documents, some will have exercises, and then most will include a quiz at the end as well. Obviously, it's all on demand, so users can pause, leave the platform, and jump back into the training the next time they log back in. Now, another area of opportunity for your organization is that we actually allow our clients to customize any of our out-of-the-box materials. So let's say this Fusion 360 materials course is 90% of how you'd want your users to work through the materials. Well, within the managed content area, we actually give you the ability to copy down this curriculum, so essentially create a duplicate of it. And at that point, you can remove anything that's not necessary, but you could also incorporate any of those custom materials that you've uploaded into Pinnacle Series. So if you have a custom video going over starting a project or the templates or, best practices, information specific to your organizations, those items can be incorporated right alongside the out-of-the-box materials. Or if you have a series of 5, 6 videos, want to create a custom quiz, you can have your own standalone learning path included in the platform as well. It will appear just like this interface that we're looking here now for the materials course. All right, so that's a little bit about out-of-the-box learning and how we can customize the materials in the platform. Now, another way that we can provide learning is through a process we call personalized learning. To do this, we have an assessment tool built into the platform. The assessment tool is called Knowledge Smart. With the results of the assessment, we can then provide targeted learning to each individual user. So essentially, identifying the skills gaps, providing the learning relevant to those skills gaps, and really only focusing in on the training needed. So to show you what this process looks like, I have a trophy icon in the upper right-hand corner. That is our assessment icon. I have a little alert telling me I've been assigned some assessments. I can go ahead and select the one I want to work on. It will bring me to the welcome page where I'll get some instructions before I begin. There's typically some download files because Knowledge Smart questions can be both knowledge-based but also task-based. So asking the user to review an image, maybe open a project file, follow some steps before they can answer the question. Once I'm ready to begin, I can go ahead and start my assessment here. Users simply work through the question navigator. Questions can be true, false, multiple choice, fill in the blank. Some will include some images, like I said, or some reference some project files. Once I've answered all the questions, I can go ahead and submit my assessment. And back on my Pinnacle Series homepage, I will receive that personalized learning. So as an example of this, I am the user logged in. I see I have this Inventor Sheet Metal course on my homepage. It has that trophy icon in the upper left-hand corner. So that is telling me that this learning has been personalized for me based on that assessment that I just completed. All right. If I jump into this learning, it's going to look very similar to the learning path that I was just showing you, the Fusion 360 out of the box one. But some of the differences, you can see it is stating that this has been personalized for me based on my assessment. Up top, and I apologize, this might be kind of small depending on the screen that you're looking at here, but you can see I was only enrolled in 5 out of the 7 courses. So right off the bat, I'm skipping over, 2 of the courses. I'm probably saving myself maybe 1, maybe 2 hours of training time by really focusing in on the topics that are needed, because essentially I'm only getting assigned what I've answered incorrectly on the assessment. There's also the show all topics toggle, so I can see the individual items that I'm skipping over. I don't have to spend time retraining on the topics that I've shown that I've understood through the course of the assessment. So Knowledge Smart is a great way for you to efficiently provide training to your users based on their individual needs, but also a great way for you to get an understanding of what are the skills gaps across our organization or maybe just across a certain team. With all this assessment data, you can really get an idea of where there might be opportunity for larger training initiatives within your organization. Also, a really common use of Knowledge Smart is that you can send assessments to people that you are interviewing for positions within your organization. They don't get access to your Pinnacle series. They get sent kind of an external URL link. But if you do decide to move forward with the individual, they can be converted to an employee in the system. The results will be retained, and now you could use their assessment score as a way to provide that personalized learning during onboarding. All right. Heading back to the home page here, we've covered a few different ways that we can provide learning, right? But to go along with that, it's important to be able to track users' progress on the learning that's being assigned to them, right? If we're investing in these resources, we want to make sure that users are taking the time to work through those materials. So I went ahead and pulled some example reports so I can show you the types of reporting that we do have available. All right, here's so starting on the learning side of things. We have a few different dashboards, so we can track progress. We can see how much time users are spending on the courses that they're being assigned, what courses were completed, who are our top learners. Each of these dashboards is very high level, but if we want to dive deeper or maybe filter down to a team or a specific user, we can use the report details link. That's going to take us another step further so we can get that breakdown. Let's say what courses were completed in the last 90 days. We can see by how many unique users and what was the time that users spent on those courses. Going even further, we can get into the raw data where we can start to filter down by individual users or groups of users, but we can see who that user is, what they were enrolled into, how much of the content did they review, And then if there was a quiz included, what was the score that was received? So all of this data can be filtered down. It can also be exported into Excel. We also do have an open API for our platform. So if you do have any other sort of learning system that might need some of this data, that would be an area to integrate as well. Now to touch on the reporting of the assessment tool, because that's also an important piece, right? To identify, what are the skills gaps? Where do we need to focus in on our energies here? All the assessment scores can be exported. We have a standard Power BI template that can be used to help you analyze the data as it comes in. So just keeping track of the average scores, just this gives us an idea of, who are our top users? Could they possibly pass out of the training? Versus who are the users that might be in the areas where we need to put some additional resources, give them the time to do some of the training on the platform. When users take an assessment, it's going to track average time by the average score. This is just also another way to identify your users and where they kind of fall amongst their peers here. Every assessment question will also have a training tag, and that's how we can keep track of what skills gaps, what areas of improvement are needed. So what questions are being answered incorrectly most often. So there's going to be a variety of reports that kind of just help you identify those top skills gaps that are coming up for your users here. All right. So that's essentially the reports. And I forgot to mention at the top, but I think we talked about in the very beginning. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them into the chat so that we can go back and make sure we get all of your questions answered today. To kind of switch gears just a little bit, we focus a lot on the learning opportunities so far, but that's really just one side of Pinnacle Series. We also want users to utilize this while they're working on projects. If they get stuck, they have questions, they need to be able to find answers quickly in order to stay productive. So now I kind of want to talk about the productivity tools that are available in the platform. We've already kind of mentioned that users can browse based on the technology that they are using, but they can also just do a search up top. When Pinnacle Series does a search, it's going to look through our out-of-the-box materials, but it's also going to look through anything that you've added to the platform. There's some filter options on the left-hand side, so we can easily narrow down by content type, but also technology that's being used. I want to show you examples of some of the other remaining asset types, so kind of outside of learning, the other tools that come available in Pinnacle Series. So just starting with a document, I kind of mentioned these are just quick how-to type of information, maybe some tips and tricks, some troubleshooting steps. This one is just simply walking the user through some steps within Vault. Every piece of content will have a share icon where I can easily copy a link, share via email, share with other users within Pinnacle Series here. And then we have a video. Just a few things about our videos. They're all meant to be the quick how-to type videos, so about 5 minutes or less, right? We have some video navigation tools so I can speed up, slow down. I can also take this to full screen. On the right-hand side here, we have this transcript. That can be helpful for a few reasons, but if I scan ahead and find what I need, I can simply click into the transcript and the video will jump to that point in time. Any videos that you add to the platform can be auto-transcribed in our Manage Content area. That's going to help your users find your content easier because anytime Pinnacle Series does a search, it's looking at titles, descriptions, but also scanning through all the transcriptions. One thing I forgot to mention at the top of this call, or the top of my portion of this call, I should say, is that Pinnacle Series is available in just over 90 different languages. So from the user profile here, a user would be able to select the language that is needed. So it would update any of the written word on the platform, as well as those video transcripts that I was just showing you, is what we can translate into these additional languages for the users as needed. All right, so that was documents, videos, and now that leaves our last asset type, which is a workflow. And workflows are a visual guide of a best practice, maybe a process. It's going to walk the user step by step through that process. So they're usually packed full of information. This is an example of an inventor workflow here. On the left-hand side, we have the outline or the tree view of this process. In the middle here, we have this interactive diagram view, so I can zoom in, follow along step by step. But when I click in the steps, that's when the details of what I need to be doing or how I can complete the step will appear on the right-hand side. So essentially, users are reading through the text. You can see there's some helpful screenshots to kind of help them through this process. It's kind of hard to show you because I'm only sharing one monitor, but you can imagine users having their project open on one screen, following along to a workflow on the other, really ensuring that they are following the correct process the first time they work on something, and hopefully eliminate any need for rework down the road. Now, in the same way that we spoke about learning and being able to copy down and customize, the same is true for any of our out-of-the-box workflows. You can copy them down, make the modification so that it follows your process that you want your users to be following. You can swap out images, you can add some links, really make it custom for your users so that they are following your process. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring up Inventor here because we do have a tool available within some of our Autodesk technologies. So we think about AutoCAD, Plant 3D, Inventor here. It is called the Related Learning Topics tool. This tool will show content that's available in a Pinnacle series based on the commands that are being utilized. So as you can see, I'm selecting different items here in Inventor. It's showing the relevant materials to those commands. So if I'm working on a project, I can see that the materials that are available to me. So if I have a question, I can see there's a 5-minute video about breaking around text. This link will take me directly to Pinnacle Series to review that video. I don't have to go searching for it. It's a direct link. Then I can return to my project. So it's a very helpful tool to keep the materials in front of the users even while they are in project work. Once this is downloaded and activated, they don't actually have to log into Pinnacle Series. It will pop open with their project when they open Inventor. Now, once again, I'm only sharing one monitor. You don't this tool will kind of stay wherever users want it. So if they want to keep it on one screen, maybe not on top of the project that they're working on, they can obviously resize it and readjust where it's located. All right. One thing I will mention, obviously right now it is showing just our out-of-the-box content, but if you have workflows, checklists that you want users to be utilizing while in project work, those items can be uploaded to Pinnacle Series and tagged to the appropriate commands and can be shown in the utility here as well. All right. Just a few more areas here, and then we'll go ahead and continue on. But I do want to spend a few moments just explaining this My Workgroups feature here on the homepage. So when a user logs in, they will only see the work groups that they are a part of. And work groups really are a way to pull together the right group of content for the right group of users. So work groups could be created for teams, disciplines, maybe location, maybe a group of new users going through onboarding, or maybe a project team. When I select a work group, it will open up to the asset tab where I can see the items that have been pulled together for this group of users. So it's really just giving me quick access to the items I might be needing, on this case, maybe a daily basis if it's a project team that I'm working on. From my homepage, I can quickly get access to those materials. I don't have to go browsing through the library or doing a search. I'm kind of have them all pulled together for the time being. Other features of a work group is that there's a discussion tab, so members of the group can leave comments, feedback for other members of the group. On the members tab is where we can add or remove users. An important feature of a work group is that we can actually invite external users to be members of work groups. So in this example, if this was a work group for a project team and you have a contractor, a subconsultant also working on that project, they can be invited to be a member of that group. and they will have access to any of the items that you add to the Asset tab, but not all of Pinnacle Series. So it's really a way to kind of lock down their visibility for what they need for the purposes of the project, and then they can be removed once that project is completed. All right. Now that's really what I wanted to share with you this afternoon. And then we'll go ahead, Abigail, I'll go ahead and give the screen back to you, and we can open up for questions then at the end.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Dolly. I'm just going to reshare on my side. I think I handed over to you before I got to show you slides, so I just wanted to bring that back up. For those who don't know, Dolly is with Eagle Point Software, and she's been with them for about 4 years, or almost 5. Yeah, and she's 1 second. I'm just going to get us to the correct slide. There we go. Yeah, and she's been with Eagle Point for 4 years, and she's a customer success manager. So if you purchase a Pinnacle Series enterprise license, she walks alongside you and makes sure that you adopt the software correctly and that you get the most out of your Pinnacle Series subscription. And thank you so much, Dolly, for your time and for your live demonstration. That was very insightful. It's packed with lots of knowledge. Um, I wanted to take the time to show you what is included in the standard content library. So Autodesk, there is a standard content library on the Autodesk front, but it doesn't only include the Autodesk software. It does include a range of software. Highlighting some of it is Bluebeam, Enscape, Esri, Procore, Lumion, SketchUp. This is all part of the standard content library, whether you purchase a Pinnacle Lite subscription or whether you purchase a Pinnacle Series subscription. There is additional content library that is available at an extra cost or an extra fee, and that is namely Bentley or SolidWorks, Autodesk Construction Cloud, as well as Adobe and Microsoft. I would like to take the time now to show you that all SciMeki members do receive a 5% discount on the Pinnacle series. So if you are a SciMeki member and you are interested in purchasing a Pinnacle a license, it comes in an annual subscription. You can reach out to us. There is also the light version available for 2,400 Rand, excluding VAT. So this is a great way to get started on the Pinnacle series because you do get a special pricing discount. And if you would like to trial the Pinnacle series, you can scan the QR code below, or you can send me an email to abigail@bakerbains.com to get a 30-day free trial. This is for all SciMeki members. So once you do complete the form, you scan the code and it will ask you for your SciMeki membership number and your details, and then we will get in touch with you. Okay. And lastly, if anyone has any questions, I have been checking the chat box and the chat. It doesn't seem like we have any questions, but usually the most questions we get is, does it come in a different language? I think Dolly already covered that. It covers about 90 different languages. It is also available in an annual subscription as well as a 3-year subscription. And then lastly, I would just like to remind everyone, if you are interested, you can scan the QR code on the screen, and so we can get you that Pinnacle trial. But I'm just going to give it about a minute or so to see if any more questions or any questions comes through. Okay, we have our first question. Masango, thank you so much for this information. I truly enjoyed the session. Thank you so much, Masango. Kind words of you there. I hope we get to see your information or your request for the trial so we can get that through to you. Any more questions or compliments? It's open. Guys, I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thank you so much for joining us. Dolly, thank you to you. Danielle, thank you to you. I'm now going to close the session and have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much. Bye.